Getting your economy to prosper in the new world. That is what Business 7 will touch on in this program. Welcome to the program. Please stay tuned. We will bring you some insights from tourism, as was expressed at the Davos meeting recently, and also we will be listening to President Hage Geingob telling Namibians to keep their cool. Also, later in the program, we're looking at the fuel refinery capacity of countries in Africa and the impact of COVID-19 on the industry.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
Namibia has announced massive prospects of offshore oil finds and also the possibility of becoming a world player in green hydrogen. But when are these benefits going to flow through to the man in the street? President Hage Geingob was asked this question when he hosted a press conference on his return from Davos, and he told Namibians to just be patient.
As for when Namibians will feel impact of this visit, I think Namibians are impatient sometimes. I said investment is a deferred gratification. But coming back, I'm getting a letter dated 2nd of June 2022, and maybe it will be good for your own information to Google Fortescue Future Industries, just to see who they are. And they are offering this after we just came back. It's the quickest reaction by any investor to show interest like this. Shell, you saw what is going on. There are others, I said. So yes, Namibians are impatient. But my colleague, this is already a result. And I think from what we have been seeing at the Namibia House, in agriculture too and so on, people are interested. So let's keep you periodic, maybe a report on how it is going to go. Already we have the ones who are offered, yes, what is it, Haifa, whatever it is. They advertise. Already post, 3 of them, opened the office here. Namibians didn't see that, they don't look at these things. In the process of them settling here and so on, there will be opportunities already created for jobs. So things will already start very soon. But I would like you to just Google this company and see what it means to come on the ground to work with us to create jobs. It depends on us how fast we react to that. We're a little bit too slow now these days because people are afraid of being accused of corruption and so on. But my point is, if you're not corrupt, don't worry. Go ahead and talk to business people. That's my point. So yes, we are all very impatient because conditions are not good for our country. It has not been good for our country. And if people want really immediate results, we may give you miracles maybe very soon. So just keep it. Keep your cool.
While Namibia and its cities are seen as one of the cleanest countries in Africa, plastic pollution is a big problem. Therefore, it's up to each of us to do what we can to reduce the use of plastic, especially single-use plastic bags. At Liberty Life Namibia, we've taken the decision to turn all our old branding items into reusable shopping bags. It's a way in which we can drive sustainability and look after our most important stakeholder, our environment. If you also believe in sustainability and would like more information, please get in touch. Liberty Life Namibia. In it with you.
The CEO of Namibia's Tourism Board, Mr. Digu Naubeb, joined President Hage Geingob and his delegation at the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in Davos in Switzerland recently. Now, Mr. Naubeb spoke about various aspects of tourism in Namibia, but also on what is necessary to be a player, a significant player in the global tourism market post-COVID. We're picking up on his panel discussion.
So that is the part that I sort of verbally told you about. So basically, an upmarket tourism destination where high spenders are to be invited. Obviously, that must be supported by luxury accommodation and very skilled workforce, both at immigration level as well as at employment level within hospitality and tourism industry. That's why it is backed by our mission that we want to sustainably develop tourism, but of course to exceed the visitor experience. And for that, to exceed the visitor experience, you need skills and expertise. And to do that, we need to position Namibia as an all year round tourism destination, and we have to achieve the regional spread in terms of our political regions that we operate into, and then of course to reduce seasonality. That is to be underpinned by diversified supplier provision as well as demand in terms of the clientele base that needs to visit and frequent Namibia. Just issued World Economic Forum rankings, which is for 2022. Overall, globally, Namibia is ranked number 88 out of 117 countries. At the sub-Saharan African level, we are ranked 7 out of 20 countries. And at our SADC level, closer to home, we are ranked 4 of the 7 out of the 7 countries that were surveyed. So definitely in terms of positioning, we are doing well. So there are quite a things that we have done to make Namibia a more competitive destination. If you look at the spread of types of accommodation establishments that we have in Namibia, you would see that basically it is dominated by backpackers, hostels, and guest houses, which are light blue, and of course hostels. So predominantly, you see that there is a mismatch in terms of where we are pitching and positioning our destination as a high-yield, low-volume destination, yet this supply side, we are offering small accommodation that is more attractive to a budget traveler, which is mostly comprised of self-catering and B&Bs and guest houses. So we need to do a balancing act in terms of where we are positioning and pitching Namibia as a tourism destination and what we are supplying in terms of the infrastructure for the customers that we are intending to attract. And therefore, the challenge remains, most of these businesses are in urban centers and not on the tourism grids. So there you have a bottleneck in terms of lodges and accommodation for people who are visiting those places where tourism attractions are. Currently in Namibia, we are only having one 5-star hotel. Of course, we don't even have a self-contained recreational resort. And largely, most of our brands in terms of accommodation are homegrown. We don't have international brands because international brands are used by international travelers as point of reference in terms of quality assurance as to the service and provision of quality material. When you are looking at, in terms of regions, how we are distributing, you can see most of the accommodation lies within the Erongo region and Khomas region, Windhoek specifically, and its surrounds. Rest of the country, we have not done much because there is room for improvement in terms of regional spread for us to achieve that. So definitely we need to work on more luxury, high-end traveler demand-related accommodation provision, and of course the supply of accommodation is disproportional as far as the regional spreads are concerned. When you look at the tourism service industry, you would see again it is more dominated by tour and safari operators with a blue, and then in yellow, it's your shuttle and transport operators, and then of course orange is your booking agents. Again, small, emerging enterprises or smaller in operation. That is what currently is in the supply part of it when you are looking at the demand in terms of the customers that we are supposed to be chasing to attract to Namibia. So therefore, we have limited offerings in adventure, culture, heritage, specialized services like bedding, stargazing, and limited vehicle rentals. Because currently, we are finding in Namibia that a lot of tourists who have been booking are cancelling bookings because we simply cannot afford to supply vehicles for rental, because Namibia is known to be a car rental and self-drive market.
Once again, we return to Davos and to Digu Naubeb. He's the CEO of the Namibia Tourism Board, as he told people what needs to change in Namibia so that the country could become a major player in the industry.
We need to work on our supply side, like I said, develop more luxury accommodation, especially in urban centers as well as in rural centers, especially where you have the tourism nodes in terms of boutique lodges or accommodation service provision. We need to also look at developing a convention center, because probably we are one of the few countries in Southern Africa who doesn't have a stand-alone convention center. And therefore, we cannot host international events, because I'm sure even Namibia as a government is supposed to host AU events or SADC events, but because of the limited space, because the largest size that we can set is 1,500 participants or delegates, but that is if you are moving away all the internal structures within the Safari or all Safari Hotel now and Movenpick. But that is the limitation that we have in terms of supply side of infrastructure that we, or facilities that we need to provide. Of course, we need to develop also theme parks. We don't need to have elaborate ones like in Dubai, but definitely if you are to develop your domestic tourism market, which is more driven by activities that they need to attend, these are kinds of things that we need to develop and offer. Of course, I've just made it an idea to say coast and sub-basin region, but of course it is dependent on the investors where they could do research and see what are the innovations and creativity that they could do in terms of developing such kind of infrastructure. Sports tourism is also quite an important one. Therefore, our infrastructure that supports that needs to be developed and maintained and improved. I've just had discussions before I left with Cricket Namibia, who wants to host a World SADC events at the cricket level. Invest also, like I said, in the car rental ventures, of course, culture and heritage offerings. We can also reimagine and diversify our products in terms of looking at self-contained medium-sized resort that we can develop. Definitely NWR has space. Government allows PPP, and that can be options that can be explored with the potential investors that are, because Matthias will be coming after me, and then we will probably look at those ideas, because it's just innovation and creativity and studies that one needs to do. We need to design a well-crafted community and cultural projects. Although we have it, currently it's just at community level where people have not also been trained in terms of how can they develop and move that from the concept stage into a venture and become eventually an enterprise. So that is an opportunity where investment or social, let's say a social investment or development in space or funding can come in. And of course, the need experiences such as adventure products need to be developed. We also need to work on the demand side. Of course, the domestic tourism, we can work on it in off-peak seasons. We must develop intra-Africa travel, but of course that needs to be based on research data, and of course we need to also remove travel restrictions, because currently quite a number of African countries need to have visas before they are traveling to Namibia. So those barriers need to be improved on. I am only understanding that the government is currently working in an immigration act that needs to be modernized. So we need to diversify also our international source markets to include North America, because currently North America is more based for trophy hunting.
While Namibia and its cities are seen as one of the cleanest countries in Africa, plastic pollution is a big problem. Therefore, it's up to each of us to do what we can to reduce the use of plastic, especially single-use plastic bags. At Liberty Life Namibia, we've taken the decision to turn all our old branding items into reusable shopping bags. It's a way in which we can drive sustainability and look after our most important stakeholder, our environment. If you also believe in sustainability and would like more information, please get in touch. Liberty Life Namibia. In it with you.
Thank you for joining us in Business 7. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at the same time. We're playing out with a video compiled by Reuters, and it's all about the fuel refining capacity in Africa and the impact of COVID-19 on the industry.
Africa faces a fuel shortage. It's led to long lines and rocketing prices at filling stations, and disruption for airlines and other businesses. The problem isn't so much a lack of crude oil, as a lack of refineries to turn it into usable fuel. Refineries across sub-Saharan Africa can process 1.36 million barrels of oil per day, in theory. But with many out of action, only 30% of that capacity was used last year. Facilities in Cameroon, Ghana and Senegal are all shut, as are 4 in South Africa. Nigeria, the continent's biggest oil producer, pumps over 1.3 million barrels per day, but can process only 1% of that. Though it exports crude, it depends on imports for almost 80% of its domestic fuel needs. The problems come after Western firms pulled out of refinery projects in Africa and local investors were unable to fill the gap. Now governments are scrambling to find a solution. Ghana is trying to restart a refinery out of action since an explosion in 2017. It's a similar story in Cameroon, where a 2019 fire knocked out one facility. Cement magnate Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man, is building a vast refinery in Nigeria, but it won't open until next year, and other projects are stalled by a lack of cash. Meanwhile, concern is mounting as fuel prices soar, not helped by the conflict in Ukraine. Analysts say there is no sign of any quick fix.
In Business 7, you get news on current economic, financial and business matters in Namibia. The weekly show features interviews with experts and in-depth analysis of burning issues in a way that caters for ordinary Namibians and business connoisseurs alike. We crunch the numbers that matter, decipher statistics that shape Namibian lives, discuss smart money and explore the impact of global development locally. Money makes the world go round, so catch us on NTV, OneUp2.com and the Facebook platforms of the Namibian Sun, Republikane, Allgemeine Zeitung and Namibia Media Holdings. For news-related or advertising queries, please contact B7 at synergy.com.na.
Careers Bistro focuses on the movers and shakers in the corporate world. It takes the content of the Careers Hub that is inserted every Friday in the 3 NMH dailies, Republikane, Namibian Sun, and Algemeine Zeitung, to viewers on social media. This show is broadcasted on NTV, OneUp2.com, and cross-shared on the following Facebook platforms: Careers Hub, the Republikane, Algemeine Zeitung, Namibian Sun, and Namibia Media Holdings. Careers Bistro focuses on car interviews, career motivational videos, the ups and downs of different careers, keeping in touch with business, and more. For career-related content or advertising queries, please contact zone@synergy.com.na.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
While Namibia and its cities are seen as one of the cleanest countries in Africa, plastic pollution is a big problem. Therefore, it's up to each of us to do what we can to reduce the use of plastic, especially single-use plastic bags. At Liberty Life Namibia, we've taken the decision to turn all our old branding items into reusable shopping bags. It's a way in which we can drive sustainability and look after our most important stakeholder, our environment. If you also believe in sustainability and would like more information, please get in touch. Liberty Life Namibia. In it with you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome to another exciting edition